Hello green and emerald class. Got a clue for you for some of the work that we're going to be doing today. Sitting underneath my palm tree. That's a little bit, not going on a tropical visit, no, it's something else. We're going to be planning, doing a little project, doing a planning part of that today, so put that away. But before we get into that stuff, we're going to be looking at breaking a goal down into steps and knowing how that other people can help you achieve it. So we're going to think about these words on the screen at the moment, and we're going to have a think about working out what they all mean. So you can stop the video now and I'll read them to you first, and then you can stop the video. Dream, teamwork, enterprise, design, cooperation and goals. Okay, so stop the video now and you can have a little talk about those. Okay, dream is like a something that comes up in your mind, maybe a plan for something. Teamwork is working with others to develop your skills and have a common purpose. Enterprise, an enterprise can mean a business or a company, but it also can mean a venture together, something like a project with a little bit of something bold and exciting, an endeavour, something to do together. And a design, next one, is a plan, usually of something, how something's going to look. So it's a sort of a planning of something sort of bigger later on, something before you, it's a plan of something before you actually get together and make it. Cooperation, again, that's a massive part of teamwork, working together to that for that particular goal, for that aim. And that's what a goal is, an aim that you've set yourself, something to work towards. Okay, so let's move forward. We're going to start with chime. Okay, and the rainbow breath, listening to the chime until you can no longer hear it. The chime helps us to feel calm and peaceful. Listen with your eyes closed. Does it feel different? Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Okay, we know how to do this, so I'm going to be quite quiet for a change in this one and just play that through for you, so you can take time sitting with your hands in your lap or just on your tummy, so that you can feel your breaths going in, and your tummy should be rising, not your chest. When you're breathing in, your tummy should rise and fall as you're breathing. Okay, so let's start this now. If I can get it moving, here we go. So sitting nice and comfortably. Right, sorry that my computer started to take off and make weird noises then as well. We're going to do some super yoga from Cosmic Kids today, and there is a link on the school's website if you're at home for this. If you're in class, you can play this this video, and it's about 5 minutes, so just take that time. If you want to pause this and return to this afterwards, you can, or you can just do the yoga at the end. It's absolutely entirely up to you. There's some quite nice videos. I had a look at this site, and there's some quite good adventure videos. They're a lot longer. They're up to about 30 minutes, and there was a Minecraft one on there which I'm quite keen to get a look at, and yeah, so do have a look if there's something there that inspires you to do a little bit of exercise, bit of stretching exercise as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a piece of paper now and a pencil, and you can write some notes into your book if you're going to do that really neatly. We're going to look through, or you just use scrap, it's absolutely entirely up to you. You're going to use these today. As we look through these photographs, you'll see some decorations in the pictures, and these pictures are of things in gardens, because what we're going to do is we're going to design a garden outline, okay, and we're going to be doing this over the next few lessons, okay, so next few weeks, and we're going to develop our ideas together and put our physical plan, which means that we're going to have a piece of paper and we're going to write that, draw that plan. And so what I want you to do is take some ideas from here, what you want your garden to look like, and we'll show you some planning ways to do that at the end. I've just thought of something else I've got to do for you, actually, just writing a little note there. And so you'll find in here that there are decorations as you go through. So there's some nice pots here, so you might want to use some decorative pots, so you might want to write that down. Beautiful flowers here. This is a rose arch, and you walk through. Can you imagine what that smells like walking through? Because some of these roses are beautiful smelling, real fragrant. Just imagine that on a sunny day, walking through that arch and smelling that gorgeous fragrance. So as we're going through, write down any decorations that you might want to use. There's a huge stone there and a bridge. There's also some stepping stones. I like those. And there's a gnome. I've got a gnome in my garden. I've got a flamingo as well. It's very cool. He looked very strange with the snow on the top of it a couple of weeks ago. His flamingo covered in snow. I should have put that on here. I've got a photograph of it, actually. So decorations, you can see. It's a lovely watering can there with beautiful flowers on it. Nice lupins in the back there. Delphiniums as well. Mrs. Ludlow knows her plants. Wow, this is quite impressive, isn't it? Don't think you get the free dog though. It's always one of Mrs. Ludlow's if you'd like a free dog. And I'm joking, you can't have my dogs, but it's beautiful. Oh, I've seen that. I've spotted some more decorations hanging under the umbrella. And just imagine laying on that. Oh, and then having a dip in the pool. Oh, how lovely. And these make a lovely tinkling sound. I love that. That's a Japanese Acer tree, and they're beautiful. It's quite a sort of like a reddish colour, that one. You wouldn't think that, you know, say leaves are green. They're not always green. Look at that. It's dark red. And the decorations you could see. Got lollipop trees here that have been trimmed down. Conical trees. Little hedges. Oh, what's that? I think that might be a bird bath, or it's a jar, a jug on the lawn. Oh, it's a flamingo. Ooh, the swing seat. I have a swing chair like that in my garden, but it's a metal one and it's very comfortable. Some lanterns here. This looks like a little shed, doesn't it? Very cute. Wow. You've got a little pot and a hedgehog underneath this gorgeous climbing frame. Looks quite a big one actually, doesn't it? Right, gardens come in lots of shapes and sizes. Hopefully you've had a good chance to recall some of your ideas there and come up with some more if you think about something that you've got in your garden, if you have a garden. Not everybody does, but if you do have a garden, there's something that you'd love in it, think about putting that down as well. And any ideas? No ideas are silly ideas for this at the moment. So gardens come in lots of shapes and sizes. Oh no, the dogs are here again. Go away, got in through the door. Oh dear. It is important that they are easy to use, but they're also fun, okay? So you might have climbing frames or a Wendy house for children to play in. Some adults might want bench seats, a swimming pool, or even rose arches like this one which I was talking about. Okay, there's lots of ideas for things to play in. You know, think about what we have in the playground at school as well. Is there something there that you think, oh, I love playing on this, why can't we have these at home? Do you know, I love those tyres that we've got in the playground that you can use to sit on, those like half tyres. I love sitting on those, and then you could make them look like an animal, couldn't you? I'd love to have something like that in my garden, or would love to have had that when my children were little. It's challenging though for some people to use a garden. Can you think of some people that might face some of those challenges? We've done a little bit on this at the end of last term, thinking about people that can't access, that, you know, I find it challenging to access different places. So for instance, people that are visually impaired, so whose eyes don't work the same as other people's and they find seeing very difficult. Disabled people who might use a wheelchair or a frame or walking sticks. People who are hard of hearing. People who are in hospital and need an outdoor space. Children who live in a place with no safe green spaces. Elderly people who can't bend down. So any other people that you can think of that might face some challenges, you might want to pause the video and have a think about that now. So here we go. We're going to pause. Have you seen any adaptations? So that means any changes to gardens when you've been out and about. Is there something that you think that's really good for that person that can't, you know, it's a, you know, a ramp instead of the stairs? That's an adaptation. So instead of having steps going up somebody, an adaptation would be putting a ramp in, or a sort of a curving path. Okay, so have you seen anything like that in a garden when you've been out and about? So pause, take a rainbow breath now, taking a breath in and out. And taking a breath in and out. In and out. So then I want you to think about how you feel so far. Are you excited about this project? Are you thinking about the people that you might make your design for? Have you got some really lovely ideas? Okay. Have a look at some of the adaptations that we found for you to have a look at. And this is some raised garden beds. So this person is in a wheelchair and he can't bend down. He, you know, would struggle to get down and dig with a large spade on the hard ground. And so this bed is called a raised bed, and it's been brought up so that he can access the area for planting, and this person too. It's a little bit of a lower one for this lady in her wheelchair. This is a sensory garden, so it's been designed so that you can the herbs and the smelling leaves from some of these plants are nearer your nose. Okay, so then you don't have to bend down. So it's really good for people that have mobility problems. And also that sense of smell would be brilliant if you had somebody that was visually impaired. They would be able to touch it because it would be nearer to them. They've got lots of colours. If they're able to see bright colours, that's another thing that can be really inspiring, because bright colours can be seen by people that struggle. Also, if to get those sensations of smell is really important for people that have lost other senses. So if you have somebody that is hard of hearing, that might be, those bright colours might be really stimulating, and the smell might be another way of taking information in through their senses. but having it very high and near to you, you obviously can smell it a lot closer because it's nearer your nose. Okay, so here's some more. These people have got higher pots and tables and watering can already around them. Step-free routes is a wheelchair route, so a path without steps. Obviously very important when you're wheeling around in your wheelchair. And we've got a slope here which has been designed very near to this little lad who is working on his, I don't know what plant that is, it looks like a tomato plant or a pepper plant. He's planting his vegetables, so again nice and high. And this one here, you've got hedges that are quite sort of touchable down the side, so you get the feeling of those leaves. Okay. Hopefully you've thought of lots of problems that people might face, visually impaired people, but they might enjoy the smells and the textures to feel. They might need safe floors to walk on. They might find chimes really useful, so those wind chimes useful by exits and flooring. Disabled people who use a wheelchair or a frame, they would need flat surfaces with no slip, wide paths to travel on, easy gate openings, higher beds to enjoy the flowers. I like the idea of these higher beds. People who are hard of hearing, lots of smells, we talked about that. Pretty colours and bright colours and well posted sign posted for exits. People who are in hospital and need extra space. Needs to be easy for everyone to move around and places to sit because they might get tired very quickly, and it needs to be wheelchair safe. So no gravel, not a lot of gravel, because that gravelly stony paths are really quite tricky to use a wheelchair on. So children who live with no safe green spaces, you're going to need a play area and places to picnic, and it needs to be really fun. So for those people that can't bend down, elderly people or people with mobility problems, you might need that higher up beds and safe flooring to walk on. Okay, so lots of ideas for you there. Have a stop and write some of those ideas down, those features that you will want to put in to your plan. You can pause the video and write and talk about those, discuss who you perhaps might be thinking of as your target audience to use, or your user of this garden. Okay, that's going to need to be sorted. I'm going to pause this video here and have a look at some of the design drawings that have been found for you. Have a really good close look at them and see whether or not your plan could look like one of these. Okay, with paths and trees, and this is what we call a bird's eye view, this one. So looking down, it's got a little pond, it's got some paths, but you need to have it really clear. This one has been done at an angle, or you could do this one like a plan, so that each area is another sort of bird's eye view. It's got a bit of little bit of planting area, it's got a little lawn, steps, pathway, and seating area, and this one with lots of different ideas on there. Okay, with some raised beds too. Some shade as well can be quite important in a garden if it gets very hot. Okay, so your challenge is to design a garden for people who face a particular challenge. Remember, choose who that garden is going to be for. Draw out your garden. We're going to use the plans next week. It's another little plan there for you to have a look at. And think about your target audiences. Your visually impaired people, perhaps disabled people, people who are hard of hearing, perhaps those that don't have a garden or in hospital need that space, and elderly people who can't bend down. So it doesn't have to be it can be for one or two of those. It doesn't have to be for everybody, okay? But it would be nice if you introduce lots of those ideas, okay? And that is it for Mrs. Ludlow today.